Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's training, how to strengthen your core without doing a single sit-up. So we often hear people saying, oh, you need to strengthen your core, or these core exercises are important for us. So today, in today's training, I'm going to teach you 3 different areas about the core. So first, we are going to talk about what is actually your core and why is it so important to strengthen it and condition the muscle in your core. The second one is I'm going to teach you 3 different types of movements you need to be doing to strengthen your core effectively. And the third part of this training is I'm actually going to teach you 3 of my favorite movements for strengthening the core that are not the sit-up or crunches. Okay, so if you're joining me live, let me know who you are. Let me know where you're joining me from. If you're watching the replay, just go #replay. If you have any questions during the training, please do put them in the chat box. If I don't answer them on the live, I will answer them later, okay? Hello, people. Oh, hello, Sonia. Hey, Gretel, yay! Awesome. Okay, so what is the core? Your core is basically all your muscles minus your arms and your legs. So from the neck down to about here, okay? That's all your core. Why did nature provide you with core muscles? The main reason why you have core muscles is to protect your spinal column, okay? So obviously spinal column is incredibly important because it has a lot of nerves that go from your organs, from your muscles into the spinal column and then up into the brain, okay? It's a very delicate structure. So nature has given us a lot of muscles in here. You have a phenomenal amount of muscles in here to protect the spinal column, okay? In rotation, in lifting, in just taking an impact. So it is absolutely crucial that you cultivate and condition your core muscles because it is your back. And that's where a lot of back issues for people come from, okay? They just don't have the strength in the core. So there is a lot of loading and tension and pressure on the vertebrae, which then, you know, people have like degenerative discs and all that kind of stuff can be completely avoided if you are strong and if you are mobile, okay? So what are the 3 main muscle groups that you need to focus on within your core? There's 3. I call them the golden trio. And in every single movement you'll ever do, I urge you that you think about these 3 muscles. The first one, it's your glutes. Literally a massive powerhouse, yeah? So a lot of power in here. The second one is your abs, yeah? And these are the kind of the surface abs that, you know, some people have arranged in a really nice kind of 6-pack, but there is also some really deep muscles underneath that go all the way down to the pelvis. The third another massive powerhouse is your latissimus dorsi, also known as the lat, okay? The lat is the biggest muscle on your back, but it is actually a chest muscle. So it starts in your chest. It protects your shoulder joint as well, wraps around your shoulder and then covers most of the back. So when you think about people's posture, we have this, which means that you don't have much strength in your back and your chest muscles are tight. Then we have people sometimes overextending as well in here. So there's a lot of tension in there. And obviously that also means that you have disengaged abs as well. So for primo posture and strong core, where you need to be is you need to have your glutes engaged about 30%, your abs engaged about 30%. Now, how do you engage these muscles? So to engage your glutes, there's 2 tricks. Either pretend that you are twisting your feet outwards. So don't actually twist them. I don't think you can quite see my feet, but don't actually twist them, but just pretend you are turning them. As soon as you do that, your glutes should go and turn on, okay? What you can also do is a mild anterior tilt, yeah? So you just kind of go into this. So turn the glutes on. Even when you're standing at a queue in a supermarket, you should be 30% engaged in your core, meaning your glutes are under. So you go from this, which I call the zombie posture, to here. The way to engage the abs is that you imagine you're fanning together your top rib and your pubic bone. Yeah? Not obviously like this, but just a little bit. And the kind of the pelvic tilt almost facilitates this. Yeah? The way you engage your lats is that you compress the shoulder blades down. Obviously, not going into some kind of crazy, gorilla kind of posture, but you just slightly compress them down. Okay? So now you've engaged the three massive powerhouses in your body, which is the core predominantly. I mean, obviously, there's a whole bunch of other muscles, serratus, you've got the rhomboid traps, all sorts of QLs in here, all sorts of muscles, but these are the three really big ones that you need to engage all the time. When you take time in your day, when you're not doing something, or even when you're like cooking and doing daily tasks, think about these three muscle groups and think about how much they are actually engaged and how much you're using them. Because the idea is that you're using them all day, every day. So then you don't need to really, I mean, you should still exercise them as well, but it's a lot of work and a lot of conditioning that you can do without, like outside of the window of exercise, okay? So remember, glutes slightly under, squeeze them together, compress the abs, and then compress the shoulder blades down, which then will lock the lats, okay? So that's a little bit about your core. Now, there's three different ways to exercise the core, okay? I'm gonna use some tools to demonstrate it. So then you can kind of get a bit of a visual representation of how I condition my core, myself, and for my clients, okay? So the first is creating stability in the core. So you are creating a strong core to support your spine while you're doing other things, okay? I'm going to demonstrate this movement with a club bell, but you can imagine it's even like taking a heavy pot off your stove, okay? So when I think about my core, so my glutes, my abs, my lats, and all the other 100 supporting muscles, in order for me to push this heavy object, this is 15 pounds or 7 kilos, outwards, I need to create a lot of strength and stability in my core. If I don't, it's going to become really difficult for me to do this movement. And then, you're going to end up in something quite ugly. That is, I already feel the tension in my lower back, okay? So the first way you need to think about conditioning your abs is the stability. How locked and strong and stable is your core while you're doing something else? Obviously, I'm pushing an object in front of me, but this could be you maybe lifting a box, a heavy box, and putting it up on the table, okay? So most people will just go into it and just kind of pop it up there, hurt their backs, or over time hurt their backs. So if I was to grab a heavy box, I would go down into like a nice deadlift. So not a squat, I would go into a deadlift. That's the most efficient way to lift something. I would make sure that I've got really engaged tight glutes, that I'm pushing the belly button towards the spine and stabilizing the abs, which is going to protect my lower back. And then I'm going to lock the lats. From here, I would lift it up and then pop it on the table, okay? So super important that you think about your core and how engaged it is when you're doing pretty much anything. This could be taking a big pot of pasta from the stove and taking it to the sink. Again, lock the lats, prepare, stabilize, and then move it, okay? So that's one way. There's two more. The second one is to stabilize the core in a rotation. Yeah. Most people will injure their lower backs when they generally lift and twist. So when they twisting in the rotation. So for that, I do movements like these. Yeah. So now I'm still creating stability and tension in my core, but now I'm resisting a slightly more complicated movement. These type of movements I love, and you can perform them with functional tools. A little bit harder to do at the gym with weights. Yeah. And that's why I love things like the steel mace and the club bells, because then you can condition the body from slightly more sophisticated angles as well. Yeah. So this is called a shield cast. And then I'm now dynamically exercising. So I'm no longer just doing this. This is a lot more dynamic, but it's now conditioning my core all over in rotation. So loading slightly different muscles, but you're basically resisting. So this could be chopping wood. Yeah, tasks like that. Pulling weeds, if you're going kind of a little bit sideways. And that's generally where I found that core strength under rotation is usually a really missing component from people that just do weightlifting. Yeah, really hard to do unless you kind of concentrate on it and do wood choppers and things like that with cable machines. Okay, the third one is actually actively exercising the core muscles, whether it's your abs, whether you're doing some kind of abdominal exercises, whether it's lats, which generally the back exercises will be some kind of rowing pattern, yeah, or whether it's your glutes, which could be exercises like the swing or exercises like the hip hinge. Okay, so in your exercise repertoire, you should include always some exercises that hit your glutes, which is lunges, deadlifts, squats, your lats, so your back structure could be like the quad press or some pulling motion, and obviously the abs, which are super important as well. A lot of people focus on the abs because they think that, you know, you want to have nice toned stomach, but if you leave the other two behind, then your core muscles are becoming kind of not very balanced. Okay, so that's the main kind of ways you can condition your core. So let me know if you have any questions about this so far, and then we will go into, I wrote myself some notes, into a few movements. Okay, so I promised you core exercises where you don't need to be doing sit-ups. Okay, so if you really want to target your abs, obviously that's one of them. I don't like sit-ups. I loathe them. Even the American Army is now abandoning the sit-up because it's just damaging people's spines and lower backs. Okay, not many people can do sit-ups very well. At some point, you're going to start dragging your body with the lower back rather than your abs. And also there is a lot of research now that our spines were not made for this kind of flexion. So doing hundreds and hundreds of sit-ups just wears out parts of your spine that were not made to be overused so much. Okay, so if you want to specifically target your abs, and you should be doing some abdominal exercises, unless you're doing movements like I've just demonstrated, some kind of pressing or rows where you're conditioning the core during other movements. If you want to really just strengthen the abs, then I do hollow body crunches, and I'm going to run you through it. Okay, entirely safe. Even when I go to my boxing classes and they ask us to do sit-ups, I don't do sit-ups, I do my hollow body crunches. Okay, so I'm going to run you through the hollow body crunch and then try it with me. Yeah, if you're watching the replay, let me know how you found it. Okay, so this is where you're going to start. You're going to lie down, and then you're going to pop your legs up at right angles. Okay, from here, so you're lying down. From here, you're going to raise your shoulder blades slightly off the ground. The most important thing, you are pushing your lower back into the mat. Yeah, there is no gap. You cannot put anything through here. If you feel that your lower back is peeling off the mat during your set, you need to either reset or have a break. Okay, it is vital that you are slightly popping the hips forward, in that, you know, you're squeezing them like we did when I was standing up, and then you push the lower back into the mat. From here, you're already in a mild abdominal crunch. Yeah. From here, all you're doing, the movement is not big. It's not about using momentum and like launching yourself as far as you can. Nah, it's you going from a slight abdominal crunch to slightly bigger one. Okay. This movement is about slow, mindful contraction. Okay, so you want to expel all the air as you are performing this movement. Even if you move a few centimeters, after the 10th, 15th rep, you're going to feel it, or on the second set. Don't worry, you're still doing amazing work. Okay, but this is extremely controlled movement where you are really protecting your lower back rather than just doing sit-ups where often the lower back really suffers. Okay, so I'm going to run you through it again. Try it with me. Yeah, so you're here, making sure that your lower back is firmly pressed against the ground, and then all you're doing, and you're not returning all the way down, because it's very tempting to then release the back. So you're going from this kind of a little bit of shoulder blade lifted off the ground to a little bit more and return to that point. Yeah, so not all the way down to the ground. Now, what helps with the neck tension, and you will just get a little bit of neck tension from this, is to look 45 degrees up, or if you really have to, you can also support your neck. Okay, so this is the hollow body crunch, and I love it. I do them a lot. Okay, so that's for the abs. I'll just have a look at my list. The second one is pullovers. Okay, so for this, you're gonna have to, you need a equipment, but if you have some light dumbbells at home, dumbbells are quite fun, or a light kettlebell is quite fun. I'm going to show you this movement with all sorts of equipment. You can use a plate, if you've got a plate, or even a medicine ball or anything like that. Okay, so pullovers. Pullovers are amazing for the lat, but it will hit your abs as well. Yeah. So I've got a club bell. So I'm going to demonstrate with a club bell, but then I'm going to show you with the kettlebell as well. If you have dumbbell, just imagine that, I'm actually going to grab a lighter one because I'm not very warmed up. If you have dumbbells, just grab 2 dumbbells in your hand, okay? Now, again, lying down, and again, you're going to firmly compress the lower back into the mat, yeah? Then you're going to lift whatever you have, whether it's a kettlebell, which you will be somewhere here, or whether it's 2 dumbbells, you're going to lift it here. From here, you really need to screw the shoulders in. So it's almost like pretending I'm bending the club bell, yeah? Now firmly squeeze the glutes, push the lower back into the ground. You're going to go back, hover just above the ground, and with a massive exhale, you're going to come forward, okay? So let's go again. Light dumbbells are really fun for this one. Yeah? So this is called the pullover, and that will condition basically the whole core again. I love it again because you are safe. There's no chance that you're going to hurt your lower back, and it's hitting the upper abs as well. Yeah. So just show you one more. If you were to do it with a kettlebell, yeah, you just hold it bottom up. Yeah, and just come here. Over here. You could possibly do it with even if you really don't have any equipment at home, get 2 water bottles or fill some kind of bottles with water, grab it with the, by the neck of the bottle, and then do it here. Yeah, So you can make yourself like a makeshift weights as well, or buy yourself some light dumbbells, right? Okay, so that's the pullover, which is fantastic for the legs, but also the abs, and obviously you're stabilizing with your glutes. Any questions? Super helpful, awesome. Okay, the third one is your bridges or deadlift. Okay, so we focused mainly on the abs. The pullovers were more about the legs, which is the back muscle. Obviously, if you have if you go to the gym or you've learned how to do rows and things like that, which are these kind of movements, then those are fantastic for the back development as well. Okay, but let's focus on your on your booty a little bit, and we'll do that standing up. So the deadlift is the best exercise for the glute and a little bit of hamstring development. Okay, I'm going to show you some at-home versions of the bridges against the wall if you don't have any equipment, or if you don't feel comfortable doing the deadlift, okay? But I found that the deadlift is by far really the best booty builder there is, okay? So what's the difference between deadlift and a squat? Well, the squat is this kind of movement where your hips are going down. The deadlift is a hip hinge movement where your hips are going back, okay? See the difference? So you can do the deadlifts body weight as well. How do you get that real glute engagement? If you go down to the bottom position, yeah, so the upper body is not parallel to the ground, it's about 45 degrees off. Now you place your fingers on the outside of the knees. Now you're pushing into the knees with your fingers and you're resisting the pressure with your knees. As soon as you do that and you apply a little bit of pressure, you should feel your booty coming on, yeah? There's a bit of a burn in there. So the most important thing, and if you're having problems with activating your glutes, go from the bottom, squeeze, yeah, turn them on with your abs stabilized and your shoulders compressed as well. And from here, try to keep the squeeze in the glutes while you're going up. For a lot of people, they kind of, by turning the feet outwards, they can squeeze the glutes in the top position, but often they will lose it. They will lose the squeeze somewhere as they are going down, okay? So if that's the case, it's totally normal. Most people are in that category. Go from the bottom, push, turn them on, and then go super slow and see if you can maintain the squeeze in the glutes all the way up, okay? When you feel confident, you can start using some tools. You can use a couple of dumbbells. You can use a kettlebell as well, which is quite nice, yeah? But, or you can do 2 dumbbells as well, yeah? The deadlift is an amazing back exercise as well once you go a little bit heavier. Now, what to do if you don't have any equipment at home? You can do bridges, okay? I'm going to show you 2 versions of the bridge. And I'm just going to squeegee my heater. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty. First version of the bridge is just on here. Yeah? So just lie down. Now squeeze the glutes. Yeah? So you're going to kind of rotate the hips outwards, squeeze your glutes, and then come up. Okay? You can weight this as well. If you've got a plate or a kettlebell, you can place it on your hips and then come up, okay? Come up with an exhale. So that's version number 1, yeah? Quite easy. If you want to go a little bit deeper, we're going to go against the wall. I'm going to take my shoes off. Okay, you're going to shimmy up towards the wall to the point, I've got the mat a little bit here, to the point where your legs are at a right degree, perfectly right degrees, okay? I don't want to slip. Okay. From here, you're going to tighten everything up and then you're going to lift off. Not only this is much deeper, This is also really nice thoracic spine mobility and spinal mobility, okay? So you're getting lots of benefits at once, yeah? So here, much deeper, you will be able to feel that your glutes are engaging so much more. So you can just do these. If you want to take it one step up, do it one-legged, yeah? Make sure that there's no discomfort in the lower back. As soon as you feel discomfort in the lower back, it means that your glutes are not doing the work anymore. You need to either engage again or have a break, yeah? These are awesome. If you don't have any equipment or you don't feel comfortable doing the deadlift on your own, just do these bridges. Okay, so I've just given you 3 exercises, one for the abs, one for the lats, and one for the glutes. Okay, if you wanted to condition all 3, because what I love is I love the lever presses. Yeah. So the movement that I show you at the beginning with the kettlebell, where you're stabilizing it, yeah, I love these. And you can do this with anything. You can do it with a rock at the beach, okay, is that you grab your object. So I'm lucky I've got lots of equipment here, but you can just do it with anything that's a little bit heavy, dumbbells or anything. You can do it, with a kettlebell or anything. So you're going to come here and then you're going to organize your core. Okay, so glutes under, compress the abs, compress the lats as well. From here, with an exhale, you're going to press your object out. Yeah, this is quite heavy for me not being warmed up. Yeah, so the most important thing, you don't take your shoulders with it. Yeah, which is here. You need to compress the lats and imagine that that's where you're pressing from the lat, from the back, yeah? And press up. You can go here. If you've got something, like a heavy piece of wood or something, you can also go here, yeah? This is a wonderful way how to condition the stability in your core so that anything you do in your daily life, it doesn't hurt your back or your shoulders or your shoulder girdle, yeah? So you can go here, you can press out, or if you've got literally a heavy rock, we'll do it, okay? So this is just a bonus exercise you can try to really create the stability in your core and strengthen the core. Remember that you also need to do some mobility work, okay? So especially if you're having issues with your core, with your lower back, just to have mobility as well, okay? And then strengthen the abs, strengthen the glutes, and strengthen the lats, the back, and then you should very comfortably say goodbye to all discomfort, okay? Any questions? There's a bit of a lag, so I'll just wait a little bit. Did I go over time? Just under 30 minutes, good. This was probably a little bit more extensive training. Normally my training sessions are a little bit shorter, but there was a lot to cover because the core is not that simple. There's a lot more going on. This was wonderful. Thank you so much, Sonia. Yeah, it's lovely to have you here. I hope I answered all your questions because this was your movement clinic question. So let me know if you need some more or you have some more questions, either put them in the chat box or send me a message directly and I can address it. Thank you, Jana. I keep all of this in mind as I return to the Unstoppable program. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all about being more mindful. So in your everyday, like I even when I'm driving and I turn a corner, I lock the core and I give myself just a little crunch because every day you're doing so many things, unless you're just sitting in front of a computer at work, you can just mindfully engage your muscles. And so you're doing these kind of minuscule workouts all day long, which add up. And that means that your body is getting trained to squeeze everything and to stabilize and to protect your spine while you're doing other things. Okay, so it's about, you know, like you're cooking and you're taking that heavy skillet off the stove, lock it. Yeah, just get into it and be a little bit more mindful than just launching yourself into, you know, movements and then possibly hurting yourself. It's about just thinking about things. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful. Love the mindfulness aspect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's about using your body in a smart way and not just kind of taking it for granted and launching into places, especially when you're like lifting a heavy bin or lifting a box or carrying your groceries. There is a way to do it and engage your core, the three. Remember the golden trio. Hear my voice in your head when you're doing something. Glutes, abs, the lats. Okay, have I got them on before I go into this movement? And it doesn't have to be like, you know, lifting a 20-kilo box. It could be just lifting something light or picking up a sock from the floor. How many people told me that they put their backs out by picking up a sock off the floor? Or sneezing is another one. Yeah, so it's like, be mindful about it. That's right. I practice mindfulness in other ways. No, it's not time to bring it into my body. The golden trio. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me live, beautiful women. I hope you enjoyed the training and tune in next week for some more. Have a beautiful day or night, evening, morning, and I will see you next week. Ka kite ano. So lovely to hang out with you.